As Dak Prescott goes down, Alex Smith rises up. Are the Rams for real? Le'Veon Bell started from the bottom, and now he is here. And are you going to chase Claypool? Welcome in, everybody. This is a Dynasty Mafia podcast. I am Antonio Denisi. With me, as always, Eric and Keenan. What's going on tonight, fellas?
Never a dull moment in the NFL, huh? What a great week. What a great week.
Week 5 down already. Week 6 underway. Except for not yesterday. Not Thursday night football for the first time, since 2010. Or no, for the first time there was a game on Tuesday was 2010. Sorry, but yeah, I kind of like that though, being on Tuesday.
No,
that was no.
No, I did not.
Man, I was a fan of Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, just having 3 straight days of football.
No, I'd rather have 2 Monday night games. I love week 1 when they had the 2 Monday night games. I look forward to that more than the Sunday night games. I don't know why.
It was nice, but I like the Thursday night games. Because, you have Sunday, Monday, and then, Thursday just kind of in the middle of the, a few days off. Then you got another day of football. I like Tuesday, too, but if they can do Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, I'd be down for that.
I'm sure they could, Eric. I'm sure they could.
Yeah, the NFL can make a lot of things happen. That's for sure. Like we said, happy Friday to everybody listening. Yeah, we're recording on Thursday. No football going on, so we're really excited to dive into everything on for Sunday and Monday. But first, Eric, how are you, man? We haven't checked in just yet.
Doing good.
How was your week going?
Pretty good. It was a little bit of a rough week for fantasy and, for me this week. But, other than that, doing good.
That's good to hear, man. That's good to hear. So Dynasty Mafia podcast, make sure to follow us on Twitter. Anybody that's new, welcome in. You can find us at Dynasty Mafia _FF. You can find me on Twitter at Antonio Denisi FF. You can find Keenan at Keenan _716 and Eric at Eric D _FF. Make sure to check us out on YouTube, youtube.com/Dynasty Mafia podcast. Got a lot of good things going for you. And we're going to hit us right into it since we have a lot that, like I said, we do want to talk about. Let's go over our top performers here of the week. And I mentioned Chase Claypool. My man had 4 touchdowns this week, guys. 4 touchdowns, 7 catches, 110 yards, 3 of them in the air, 1 on the ground. That's why I'm rocking the Notre Dame cap for those of you being able to see that on YouTube. But, man, I didn't see this coming.
You didn't see 4 touchdowns coming?
I didn't see the breakout, I guess, maybe coming as early as it has. I know he had, a bigger game earlier this year, but he had a 4 touch. This is what he was in college. He was a big play receiver. He's 6'4", he's fast, he's lengthy, and he shows that he can make plays. And Pittsburgh's using him. They're using him right now.
Yeah, he had 17 touches this past week. So, I mean, that has a lot to do with Johnson going down, but he's not going to get 4 touchdowns every week. So don't get your hopes up there on that. But I think here's a bold statement. You know me and bold statements, guys. I think they found their wide receiver 1. I think he's going to be jumping Juju this offseason.
Man, Pittsburgh might be jumping Juju.
Yeah, that Claypool jumped it Juju. I'm a big Juju fan. He had a great year with Antonio Brown. Last year, injury problems. Hasn't been the same since that year when he broke out with Antonio Brown. So, but Claypool's just so. And I was totally wrong with him in the offseason. I gave our buddy Joe Sarro, some crap because he said that Claypool was going to be the best wide receiver out of this draft class, and I had Claypool at 7. So, and I was like, Joe, there's no way. And I'm a Notre Dame guy too. So, and I was like, no way, Claypool, he's one-dimensional. And seeing him, even score on a rushing touchdown was pretty eye-opening for me.
Yeah, he was a lot like Will Fuller was, another Notre Dame prospect, where Will Fuller was a massive deep ball threat. He came to the NFL, and he transitioned pretty well when he's healthy as a deep ball threat. I think Deontay Johnson is definitely going to stay there, but because he might be out this week potentially, I think anybody that scooped him up you gotta start him. You gotta play him when he's hot. What'd you say?
How much bad did you spend on him in the one league?
I think I spent 41% of my fab on him. But I'm clinging right now. I'm 2-3. I think I might actually be 1-4. But
you are 1-4.
I'm 1-4. I have a great team. Just
I'm a game behind you. We're fighting who's feeding the rest of the draft pizza and wings next year.
That's right. But no, I spend a lot of money because this is what Pittsburgh does, right? They grab a lot of guys outside of the first round. Antonio Brown, Emmanuel Sanders, Juju, Martavis Bryant, Deontay Johnson last year. Hines Ward, yeah, it's what they do. So that's why a lot of those guys have turned out to be great prospects, and I think that Chase Claypool is going to be the next one up. Just it happened a lot earlier than I thought it would. I loved where he was. I didn't like where he was drafted, to be honest, but now they're utilizing him right. Travis Fulgham, got to know when to Fulgham, guys, or when to hold him. Had 13 targets, 10 catches, 152 yards, and a touchdown. What are we thinking about him? Chase Claypool and Travis Fulgham, your top players this week. What do we think is going on with him? That's 2 weeks in a row now where he's gotten a touchdown, and it seems like he's maybe taken over for the Greg Ward being the number one target in Zach Ertz for at least last week.
Yeah, for last week, definitely. But the week before, I think he kind of got lucky. He only had 3 targets and 2 catches, and they had the touchdown. But, yeah, this week was, the 10 receptions. And, but I think it's really only until Rager and Goddard come back, whenever that will be. But, definitely for the next couple of weeks at least, he's going to be a good flex option.
And Alshon Jeffrey, too.
Yeah, Jeffrey's going to be coming back.
Getting him back, too, so.
Yeah, Jeffrey may come back this week. I know he is practicing. He's limited, so it could be another week. But yeah, you're right. I think Rager can come back week 8, and then Goddard's coming back. So Philadelphia could be a nice second half team. And
they're only one game behind the league.
Yeah. They have 4 wins collectively in the NFC East right now.
They're 1 game behind the Andy Dalton Cowboys.
But Fulgham had a good week. I think you need to pick him up though, because for the next 2 to 3 weeks, he's going to be a big target. I believe of Carson Wentz. And he probably didn't cost you that much either. Probably spent 8 to 10%, maybe even lower into 5 or 6. But another guy you should have spent some money on if you weren't lucky enough to pick him up, before the game, because I told you last week he was going to have a good game. Then that's Brandon Cooks. 12 targets, 8 for 161 and a touchdown. He connected a lot with Watson, and most of it happened, I think, after the first quarter.
He's back.
Yeah, he went catch. He had no catches in week 5. Had a very big bounce back game, but I don't know. I think that I think it might, swap every game between Fuller and Cooks now, but I think they both should at least be rostered.
I'm a big believer when a coach gets fired. I'm a big believer of players producing for that new coach, because change of scheme or players play they want to play for the new coach or whatnot. So I wasn't shocked to see Brandon Cooks put up the numbers that he did. And now that Atlanta fired their coach too this past week, don't be shocked if that Atlanta offense blows up. I feel like that's a trend around the league.
Yeah, I said before the season too, I wouldn't be surprised if Brandon Cooks finished the season as the wide receiver 1 there. It was a new team, new offense. He just needed time to click, and I think that's going to start happening. I agree. They're going to go back and forth. He's going to have his his boom and bust games, but that's how he's always been. But he's always a threat to finish over 1,000 yards.
Yeah, I think he does have a good shot for 1,000 yards too. He's had over 90 yards in 2 of his 4 games. Let's talk about somebody else though, that's just defying the laws of defense. And I think DK stands for defense killer in DK Metcalf, because that is what he is doing right now. He's got a touchdown in 4 of his 5 games. He's got 5 touchdowns on the season. He's got at least 4 catches and 92 or 90 and 92 yards in each of his games. You're getting a floor from a guy who only has 24 targets. Or I'm sorry, not reading that right now. I mean, he's got 39 targets. He has a touchdown rate of 23% right now. And I know what you're thinking. That can't happen. That can't continue. But the fact that he's on pace right now for over 1,500 yards and 16 touchdowns, as he sits at the wide receiver 4, I mean, I know I'm going on a while with DK right now, guys, but I did not see this coming at all. And Doug Baldwin had 16 touchdowns a few years ago. Russell Wilson, they're all efficient. Somebody take me off this ledge right now.
Don't stay on the ledge. Stay on the ledge. I'm loving every second of it. I said back in May it was, or whenever it was, we were doing our buy sells. He was one of my buys back then, and the value you were paying then was half the value you're going to pay to get him now. But he's awesome. He's going to be great. I mean, people all over Twitter, they're talking about how he's the Dynasty wide receiver 1.
I was just about to say that. There's people that believe that he's a Dynasty wide receiver 1, and there's people that don't believe that, and the people that don't believe that are going to be the wrong people.
I am so glad that you mentioned that because I wanted to talk about that on the episode today. Who is your Dynasty wide receiver 1 right now?
We're talking about him.
Is it really? Not CeeDee Lamb?
No, I mean, you got Prescott with the injury now, too. That's a big question mark, and I know us three have talked about in the past even this past week, are the Cowboys going to sign DK? Are the Cowboys going to re-sign Dak? That's a big question mark. I mean, you got DK Metcalf. Quarterback is the best quarterback in the league right now, and that offense is just clicking. So even with Lockett on the other side of DK and Lockett are both putting up the points, fantasy points, and usually when you have these two type of wide receivers, one takes away from each other. One takes away from the other one. But I think both of them have produced so far, and I think DK is, like you said, defensive killer. He just looks – he's so much bigger than a lot of these cornerbacks and safeties where he just dominates down the field.
Yeah, DK 4th and Lockett 10th. They had a little swap of roles after week 3. But yeah, Tyler Lockett, though, the last 2 weeks, 4 targets, 5 targets, and less than 44 yards. Are you worried at all?
I'm not. He's going to get his. I mean, DK got his when it wasn't as much as he's getting he's gotten the last 2 games, but they'll both get theirs, I think.
Yeah, I'm not worrying just yet. I mean, with the emergence of DK being this good, Lockett's going to have games like this, unfortunately. But he's still going to have a few more of those other games where he's getting multiple touchdowns and over 100 yards. But I mean, you're gonna have these kinds of games in there.
Yeah, I think last game was it was a really slow start for Seattle. That whole first half,
they were terrible.
Yeah, I think Wilson had like 5 points, and I wound up losing in like 2 leagues because of Russell Wilson when that second half came back. I know it was early, but it was a big week again for him. Another big week for Adam Thielen. He had another 2 touchdowns. Mike Williams had 2 touchdowns in Keenan Allen's absence. Do you buy Mike Williams the rest of the season? I mean, it sounds like Keenan Allen's okay, but do you think this might have helped a little bit of a rapport with Herbert?
It definitely helped. Once Keenan Allen is back, though, I don't see Mike Williams being this big of a factor. But I guess long term, definitely it helped with that chemistry and to build that. But I'm not going as crazy as a lot of people are, I think.
I gotcha. How about you, Keenan? I forgot to actually ask with Tyler Lockett, since it's a bye week for Seattle, do you think we should be, like I said, buying low on Tyler Lockett right now? If we think, those last 2 games are just fluky and he's going to come back, he should be we're going to talk about buys and sells a little later, but what do you think about Tyler Lockett?
I'd buy him. I mean, he's, what did you say, wide receiver 10?
Yeah, wide receiver 10 right now.
I mean, he's
Who do you think? Let me ask you then. Would you rather have CeeDee Lamb or Tyler Lockett?
Lockett, just because of Dak's injury.
What about Joe Mixon or Tyler Lockett?
Me and running backs. I love my running backs.
Yeah, especially this year. They've been needed more than ever this year. Keenan Allen, we just said him. Keenan Allen or Tyler Lockett?
Keenan Allen.
I'm just gonna go with Lockett just because of Wilson's his quarterback.
I have to go with Lockett too.
Yeah.
One more: DK Metcalf or Michael Thomas? Come on, it's Michael Thomas. Stop.
Yeah, I just go Michael Thomas. Hey,
like I said, as much as we can't be crazy right now. I love DK, but
let me just say, if you offer me DK for Michael Thomas, I'd decline it. Straight up. So yeah, I'd stick. Even with Michael Thomas not playing, has he played at all this year, or maybe?
Yeah, the first game he played.
Yeah, even him missing the last 2 weeks or whatever, I'd still, at this point, I'd keep Michael Thomas.
All right. Okay, let's move on there to mini CMC. Mike Davis is on a tear.
Hold on. 1 second. Don't think.
What? No. We're not going to talk. We're not going to talk.
Listen. You're going to put some respect on Adam Thielen's name before the season's over. I kind of want you to write an apology, but after last week's apology and you jinxed our buddy Dak, I don't want you to write one. But you're going to put some respect on Adam Thielen.
I don't know. I have nothing still just yet for Adam Thielen. I'm not going to say I have nothing. I can't say I have nothing for your second wide receiver right now. But I've told you, Kirk Cousins never throws the ball. They've thrown it over like 30 times once, which was last game. He had 13 targets. He's continuing to get 33% of the targets, which that's probably going to go down, but he's one of the only people that are likely to get it because that's what the Vikings are. They're a heavily concentrated team on just 2 wide receivers, which, as we've seen, is Justin Jefferson as well. With his emergence, I don't know. He's very touchdown dependent, but I know it's crazy saying that because he's got over 100 yards and 6 touchdowns right now, but he's got 3 catches in 2 of those games, and these 2 touchdowns, he didn't do much of it until the second half. I mean,
garbage.
Sure. They got so far. Like, I don't know how they ruined it. If they were up 13-0 and Thielen had no targets with like 3 minutes left in the second. That's
not a lot in today's NFL. 13 points.
No, but the point being they were up 13-0 and Thielen had nothing to do with that. He had no targets. He didn't get anything until nearly 2 minutes left in the second quarter where he had 4 targets. So second half was all the other production, and that was after Seattle came out and scored 3 touchdowns in the third quarter.
You know what I said about Dak last week? He's a perfect garbage time quarterback, and garbage time wins you fantasy.
I don't believe in garbage time. I know we've talked about this off air. I don't. You got to play all 4 quarters, but I just don't think you're going to have that game script every time where Minnesota's up a whole half, controls everything. All of a sudden, the other team gets a crazy lead, and then they're in a shootout. They're a run-first team, but I know Thielen's going to get his targets. Wide receiver 2, you got to sell him. I think he's going to still finish outside the top 5. But let's move on here to Mini CMC.
Like that apology.
Thank you. Mini CMC. He's on a tear. Mike Davis finished as RB1. He had 16 carries for 89 rush yards and added on 9 catches for 60 yards and a touchdown, had 10 targets. Man, he finished as the RB21 in week 2 when he came in just for that second half. Since then, he's been RB9, RB8, now RB1.
I think
what's going on?
I think the more important question is how long is he under contract in Carolina, and who's going to pay this guy? Because now that I'm thinking about it, and I hate to say it in front of you guys because we're in a couple of dynasty leagues, should you be buying Mike Davis?
I think this is a very good proponent of the offense because, he's 27. Don't forget Chicago gave him a contract.
Yeah, but hold on, Antonio. He's 27 years old. That gives you leverage to buy him at a very cheap cost and low risk, high reward. If we got to look at his contract. I don't know what.
Yeah, he is a free agent next year when he's going to be 28.
I could see Carolina paying him just backup money, and
I can see that too.
True.
I don't think he's going to get it.
The way he's putting up the numbers that he's putting up, does he want to be a backup?
I don't know if he's going to get it.
I don't know. I mean,
Starting role.
he got I think $4 or
There's
$5
going to be a
million.
lot of running backs in free.
He's not going to get crazy money, but might get a starting role somewhere.
Yeah, there's a shot. That's what happened with him when he went from Seattle to Chicago. Remember when Carson went out 2 years ago? He performed a little bit well with that offense. Went to Chicago, nothing happened. Got like $5 or $6 million. They let him go after 1 year, and now he winds up here. Yeah, he's doing great. He's averaging over 5 yards or close to 5 yards a carry. He's got 30 catches. He is your running.
I don't want you to say he's a component of the offense, because when McCaffrey went down, no one expected this.
Right, and that's my point, is that now that you're seeing it, I think CMC's he's going to come. Like, you needed to buy him. If you didn't buy him yet, and they say he's out 2 or 3 more weeks, you need to try to buy him, because I think when CMC comes back, he's going to be the RB1. I mean, Alvin Kamara
back to that league-winning.
Yeah, he will be the league-winning player, as well as Alvin Kamara is playing.
I'm more talking about dynasty for Mike Davis.
Oh, dynasty purposes now.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's what I'm talking about. I'm not saying redraft. I'm saying if you need a running back and you think Mike Davis is going to leave Carolina and might get a starting role somewhere, well, how much – if you had Mike Davis, what do you expect for him? And I'm asking you what you want from him. What are you telling me?
I mean, I would honestly wait until CMC comes back, unless for some reason you're like a fringe playoff team and you might need a couple wins in the next 3 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks. I would sauce out maybe a few seconds, or I would start with a third, to be honest with you.
Yeah, a second and a third maybe, and you might have a starting running back for a couple.
Second and a third might be too much for me. I would probably just do maybe a second or a third. I prefer a third, of course, but it's because, like I said, you don't know. What if he gets signed when CMC comes back and they sign him now, and then he's now their backup, like Eric said, and you just sent out a second-round pick for nothing. You only have it as a handcuff, and you might not even have CMC. I don't know, but I think he's doing great, like you said. Unexpected. He's definitely helping to win a lot of games for people. But someone else that helped win some games for people this week, Todd Gurley, was your RB2. He had 14 carries, 121 yards, and a touchdown, added 4 catches through the air. I think this is the sell-high game for Gurley. I don't know if you're going to get it again. We just talked about Atlanta firing their quarterbacks. I mean, their coach and GM. And Matt Ryan has struggled the last game or two. Not that I don't think he's going to bounce back.
Still not getting the respect in the fantasy world.
So you're not going to sell high in this performance?
I try to sell him. And he's just,
you say no because you won't get respect of
still
for the trade.
Respect. He's still not getting respect from people, and I don't know if people are just not looking at his numbers or aren't watching his games, but he's played pretty well to me. I mean, he's not going to be the Todd Gurley of 3 years ago or 2 years ago. People need to get over that, but he is a RB2, a good RB2 for you.
Yeah, I think he's a hold. I think he's a hold too. I think that
unless you can get another if you can trade him for like another top 12 running back. I don't know, maybe see if you can trade him for like a Josh Jacobs, who had a few rough games. See if maybe somebody will go after that, or even Joe Mixon. Maybe you can trade him for Joe Mixon, or
you want to trade me Joe Mixon for.
And I wish
we can do it right now.
Alexander Madison, basically in the second half, had 112 yards, 139 total yards. Dalvin Cook went out with a groin injury, and it sounds like Mike Zimmer at least said that he's doing fine. So maybe they'll be playing, but of course with the COVID of some Atlanta Falcons staff, and they shut the facilities down, we're going to, hopefully we have more information by the time this comes out on what's going on. But would you be – I mean, obviously Madison's a surefire top 5 start if the game happens.
What if Cook plays?
Sorry, yeah, if the game happens and Cook doesn't play. I don't know why they have a bye week 7. I don't know why they wouldn't, sit him, let him get healthy. I mean, at least that's what I think they should be doing. Dalvin Cook, though, is doing great. Dalvin Cook's leading the league in rushing yards. by 112.
Dalvin Cook tried to come back after that injury.
Yeah, he did, and I'm glad that he didn't. I don't know. You've seen what Madison does. He's very capable of filling the role of Cook. I just think you sit him for a week. I don't think you decide, hey, we have a bye week the week after. Let's play him anyway in case. No, I think you should sit him. Atlanta's shambles right now.
That game won't happen.
What'd you say?
That game won't happen this week anyways.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like you said, with it being staff members and we're not seeing the players and they had to shut the facility down, I don't know what the plan is. Like I said, hoping more to come. But we got some streamers a little later to talk about for you if you are running into that issue with the potential of that being moved. So I think that's going to, Jamison Crowder. Let's talk about Jamison Crowder real quick. Please, please, please. He is killing it. Do you know he is your number 3 wide receiver on a point per game basis?
With Joe Flacco as his quarterback right now and Adam Gase as his coach.
And Adam Gase does love his slot receivers, but he's got at least 7 catches and 104 yards in every game. I got him on
a few of my benches, and I'm like, wow, I got to really get him in my lineup.
I think everybody needs to trade for him. I think that I don't think he's getting the respect either. I don't think people are realizing how good he's doing because of how bad the Jets are. But he is the lone ranger in that offense right now. Adam Gase, like I said, loves his slot receivers. And I think that you can get him pretty cheap because he's going to be wide receiver 2 the rest of the season. I really think he will. Yeah. Let's look at some dud games on the week. Joe Mixon had 24 rushes for only 59 yards, 6 catches for 35 yards, which was kind of nice to see, though, because he's getting a lot of work in the passing game the last 2 games. 6 is a career high for him, and he's done it now twice. Terry McLaurin had 3 for 26. DJ Chark, we wouldn't call him a bust. He got injured, but Devin Singletary didn't do so hot. Evan Ingram only had the 2 catches for 9 yards, but he did catch a touchdown, which kind of saved some people. Tyler Higbee was struggling again. Justin Jefferson let some people down. One of my impresses. Nothing else too. Anything you want to highlight from there?
Can we talk about Mike Evans for a sec? Is he touchdown dependent right now?
So I am actually. It seems like a lot of people, from what I'm hearing, are trying to get rid of Mike Evans. I'm on the opposite side. I want to scoop him up. I know I said before the season that he's going to get double-digit touchdowns. Obviously, I still feel that way with him having 6 right now. Tied for the league lead. But he's doing this without Chris Godwin. He was doing this somewhat unhealthy. I understand that Brady's not Brady of old, but Brady's clearly throwing him in the red zone.
I can't remember what down it is.
He still had 9 targets last week, too, as well.
He's had 2 games of heavy target load over 100 yards. I don't know. I don't think that. What are you worried about, Mike Evans? I guess
a little bit. I really am. One, I think he's playing hurt. That he's definitely hobbling around. 2, is Godwin going to come back healthy, and how healthy he is? 3, Brady's not Brady, and 4. He's just not getting the receptions that we're accustomed to him getting. It's the thing that's saving people is the touchdowns.
But is it saving him though? Like I said, he's got 2 games over 100 yards. He's got multiple touchdowns in some games, and none of this is with Godwin. None of it's with Foley being healthy. I think. Imagine if he is. I mean, he is. He's got. Do you agree with me? He's a lock for 10 touchdowns.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, yeah.
Anyone that gets 10 touchdowns is going to be a top 10.
Like we talk about Thielen.
What'd you say?
We talk about the garbage time with him, like we talk about with Thielen.
Well,
Tampa Bay doesn't have garbage time, and again, it doesn't exist.
If you want to say, just 10 touchdowns will make you top 10, but the thing is, he's gotten 6 of those in the first 5 games. Is he only going to get 4 touchdowns in the next 11 games?
Exactly.
I mean, I think he's going to get more than that. I think he's going to get closer to 15, but
I really do too.
Because he's still got target. He didn't get targeted a lot when Godwin was in, but that game, that was it was the first game. You know, it was the first game with them playing. It was the first game with Brady. I don't know.
Well, and he was injured.
Yeah, that
Evans
too.
was injured the
Yeah,
first week.
he almost didn't. He
So
almost didn't even play.
Still playing
here's his
injured.
targets. 4, 10 since week 1. 4, 10, 4, 8, 9. I don't see a problem with that. He's got 37 targets so far. Puts him on pace for about 110.
That the second game with 4 targets, he had 2 touchdowns.
Right. Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. So if you
But he's
look
got a
at
touchdown in every other game.
if you look at it, 1 reception week 1, the touchdown saved him.
Injured.
I mean, the touchdown saved you as a fantasy.
Right, I agree with you, but he was injured. So
seven receptions next week. Okay, he had a great game.
104 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah, he had a great week that week. And the following week, two receptions, 2 touchdowns. The touchdown saved you.
Re-aggravated the hamstring, and he played Denver.
Then he had a great game again, and then he had 5 receptions and a touchdown. The touchdown saved you again
Against Chicago, who's one of the best.
Yeah, but
he's also scored the first receiving touchdown from a wide receiver that Chicago led up all season.
That's fine. I'm just saying.
I agree. I'm in the middle. I kind of agree. I think Keenan makes a point, but I also think that, you know, there's nobody else behind Evans. You know, I know we like Scotty Miller.
Yeah, Scotty Miller, baby.
I know we like him, but, you know, he's nothing compared to Evans. You know, once
no.
Evans there, it's really going to open things up some more, I think.
That offense just isn't clicking the way I thought it would be clicking. And I know Mike Evans is hurt. I know Godwin's is hurt as well, and they lost O.J. Howard. It just isn't clicking the way I pictured it. Let's just say that.
I understand it. I don't know. I'm excited for what they're going to do. I'm excited for the AFC South games when they start playing, or NFC South. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Geez, the NFC South games when they start playing.
I'm buying him too. I'm not. If I have him, I'm not selling him. But if I can get him, if I could get him, I will try to trade for him. But I'm also on the worried side as well.
I think they're going to have a strong second half once they're fully healthy.
And Bruce Arians' offense,
they got coming up: Vegas, Giants, New Orleans, Carolina, and Rams.
All shootouts. I'm
KC,
all shootouts.
KC,
It's gonna be really nice, man. I'm
twice end of the year. So.
I'm very excited for when they can start clicking. And Bruce Arians' offense, even though it looks like a little mixture of him and Tom Brady's, it's a tough one to learn. So I think that whatever they're kind of combining, they're still figuring it out. And you know, maybe when Brady stops thinking there's 5 downs, it also might improve a little.
What was that about? And then he denied it at the post game.
Yeah, no, that didn't happen. What are you talking about?
What are you talking about, dude? maybe the Patriots been this good because all these years because they've got five down, so we just didn't catch on to it.
He can't deny it. He put 4 fingers up in the air like you can't deny it.
And Arian said that play call is designed for 4th down. That's their 4th down go-to play.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, Brady never would throw for 20 yards on a 3rd and 20 if you got 2 downs.
Yeah.
He's going for 14, 15, and then he'll get the last 5 or 6 and make you angry. Man, yeah, okay. So let's hit some news and notes here. A little bit late in the show for that, but we're gonna hit on some of those. Melvin Gordon had a DUI on.
Yikes.
Yikes. Had a DUI on Tuesday. Team sent him home on Wednesday, and he came back to practice on Thursday. You know, when it originally happened, I wasn't sure if they were going to cut him with how reckless it sounded. I mean, he could have potentially been arrested. He wasn't. But it sounds like he's back. I don't know what discipline's going to happen. But the league has to. I think he's going to play. I feel like Lindsey's coming back too, so I wouldn't be surprised if he maybe sees a lot less work than normal. But also, like, the league won't discipline him until there's any legal process that's completed. So at least for this week, you know he's playing, potentially. But with that being said, if you have to start him, I guess start him. But it is an uncomfortable situation for me. I'm benching him in one league, but I have 2 other running backs that can be a little better. So, like I said, if you have to start him at your RB2, you got to start him.
I think you're fine without – I don't think you're getting suspension this year. By the time the investigation, all that is completed, I think you got nothing to worry about there. If they haven't caught him already, they're not cutting him.
Yeah, you definitely need to add Philip Lindsay though if he wasn't picked up in this latest waiver run. Like we were talking about before, Delvin Cook got injured, but it sounds like he'll be coming back. Alex Smith finally came back after his almost 2-year hiatus. It was really nice to see until he stepped on the field and actually started throwing the ball. Then it kind of looked a little like he maybe should be waiting a bit longer. Kyle Allen apparently got. We're not going to call it benched because they claim there was an injury and he's all fine now to come back and play. But Alex Smith threw 37 times, and it just looked pretty rough. So I'm just glad to see him back on the field, but maybe a little bit longer until he'll be starting again. Maybe not even this year. But how about your Kyle Allen with Terry McLaurin? What do you think about that? Eric, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, if he's going to be the one in there for the rest of the season, I mean, obviously what did McLaurin have? I forgot what he had 2 games ago with Allen. But he had a good game. I remember. I think he had over 100 yards.
Yeah, and a touchdown.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm surprised they didn't put Haskins in there when
I traded him.
out, but
Yeah, it sounds like he's got an illness he's dealing with, but Haskins is definitely done. Last week McLaurin had 10 catches for 118 yards against Baltimore, so very disappointing to see what happened against the Rams last week. But I don't know. I think obviously it's better that Allen's there than it was Alex Smith. But McLaurin, I think he's a good buy low. I know we got a lot of buy lows we're talking about right now, and we're going to hit on a few later. But yeah, that's what's happening this year. There's a lot of guys in the beginning of the season that are underperforming. Was a proud McLaurin owner, and am a proud McLaurin owner in a majority of leagues. But he's part of the reason why a lot of my teams aren't doing so hot so far. But I think he's someone that's going to change for the second half of the season.
You traded him, and then I traded him.
Yeah, I traded him to you, I think, in 2 leagues. And I still have him in a couple of leagues. But
I just
he's
don't
so
like
talented.
I don't like Kyle Allen. That's
I don't either.
That's where it comes down for me. I'm sure Scary Terry, as I call him, he's going to have his game still. I can't trust his quarterback. I really can't. I'd rather have Hopkins in there. Not Hopkins. The hell's the quarterback's name they just benched? Hoskin, right?
Haskins?
Haskin, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd rather have him in there because they play college ball together. And they kind of have a little bit of chemistry together. And I guess I was a little excited to see Alex Smith in there just because of the production that it might help Scary Terry. But I don't know. That's why I traded him.
I would move him too because they're going to trade him. They're definitely going to get rid of him. He's going to get a chance to go somewhere else, wherever that may be. But I think McLaurin might need another week to buy low, unless you can get a good deal now. But he's playing at the Giants. I think it's going to be a tougher week for him than maybe it may seem. He has a date with James Bradbury, who's the number 2 cornerback according to PFF right now. I'm going to talk a little bit more about him later when we talk about our stresses. Another preview. But yeah, let's move on from that part. Like I said, good thing Alex Smith's back. He was sacked 6 times in the second half against the Rams.
Who was?
Alex Smith.
Poor guy.
I know, that's what I'm saying. It wasn't right for him to be coming back, man.
How do you think his wife felt watching that game in the stands?
Oh man, yeah, she was probably so scared every single time. But he chucked that ball. All right, over to some injuries we mentioned earlier. The sad news of Dak Prescott. He's going to be out for the season after that horrific foot injury. Came clean right off the bone. Cowboys owner Jerry Jones said on Tuesday, though, he expects that he will be ready to join the team for off-season workouts in late April or early May. So are they going to be franchising Dak again? Is he going to be a Cowboy still? Andy Dalton's coming in. What do we think that offense is going to be like, Eric?
it's not going to be as good. It seems like, Dalton was a big fan of Gallup when he came in, but it definitely worries me for CD rest of the season. Just the whole offense in general. Not Zeke though. I think they're going to rely on Zeke a little bit more because of this. But yeah, I don't know. We got to see more with Dalton in there to really get a grasp on what it's going to look like.
Now, if you have Dalton, if you're in a super flex league, how much are you spending on Dalton and Fab?
I think you'd have to spend at least 25 to 30%. You might not get him with that, but
Yeah, I didn't.
you might. I mean, yeah, you probably would have to spend upwards of 50.
Yeah. Do you start him as one?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's a quarterback. I think he's a quarterback one the rest of the season.
Yeah.
And then in Dynasty even, I would be throwing out, especially in a super flex. I mean, maybe you have to wait and see because I think you might have some people demanding like a first-round pick.
I got him for $2, $2 Fab dollars today.
Where?
In Dynasty, Western New York.
Yeah, but that's a one quarterback league, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a one quarterback league, but also in our super flex league, I ended up getting up for $13 $13 Fab dollars, I think, too. So I was pretty pleased with that as well.
Oh wow! And isn't the budget like $200 in that one?
Eric,
double check that. Yeah, $13 though. That's still pretty low.
Yeah.
But like I was saying though, I mean, I know people are going to be commanding a first, rightfully so. Usually, any starting quarterback should be a first round pick in a dynasty, super flex. But yeah, I think Dalton can really. He can come in, and I obviously he's not going to throw for over 400 yards a game like Dalton is, but there's a chance he becomes that game managing quarterback that can throw for 250 and 3. And they can win games, 28-21 instead of having to be in such shoot.
Yeah, a starting job next year after he puts up some numbers with this offense.
It was $100 budget.
It was 100. Okay, so yeah, 13% at it. Yeah, I mean, again, not saying anything negative to Dak. They lost a job. I mean, of course, they may keep him. We'll see what happens. But there's just a world where Dalton performs very well. With this offense, fits nicely. Dalton Schultz didn't get any targets though.
It's a little
at all. So he did pass to 5 separate players. Dalton Schultz was not one of them. CeeDee Lamb was the most with 3. Gallup had 3. We know Gallup had 50 yards, I believe, in that final minute with the 2 catches. But yeah, I think everybody is still a hold for Dallas. Zeke might have a little bit of an improvement as well.
I think you're with Schultz. I think you're going to see an improvement as well until Dalton gets a little more comfortable with his deep threats on the field.
I hope so. I'm thinking that might have been maybe just because of the game script.
Were they down again? They were down again.
They were down. Yeah, he came back and helped him win. But yeah, maybe it was just more trusting everybody else instead of the rookie tight end. Yeah. I mean, I guess I could understand that. But he did throw the rookie wide receiver, but CeeDee Lamb's a different breed. But yeah, I would probably be pushing if you're a needy in the dynasty, if you Superflex, if you're a needy team that maybe had some injuries, like had Dak and didn't happen to have Dalton as and you need another second quarterback, and you could afford to get rid of a first round pick for him, I would probably do it because he's going to help you win the championship. Like I said, I think he's going to be a quarterback one moving forward with some potential at top 6.
Who's this?
Andy Dalton.
Interesting. Well, that's why
you got to remember he went to the playoffs 7 straight years in Cincinnati. I know he didn't win, but yeah, he was able to get them there. And AJ Green had some great stats, and now he has 3 AJ Greens. I mean,
I'll tell you this: I in a league, I'm a contender right now, 4-1. I just lost Dak. I would not pay a first for Dalton. I would pay a second though.
You paid a fourth for
I don't think anybody's taking a second though. Nobody's taking. I mean, somebody maybe if they think it's a high second, but you also don't know right now in week 6. Maybe you can think you're gonna get a high second, but you don't know how the rest of the season is gonna go. So I'll think about it as a medium pick. If you know for sure, hey, you're getting where that pick's gonna be, and you're comfortable with it, then take it. But if I had Dalton, I wouldn't sell him for less than a first. If I was buying Dalton, sure, start with a second. That probably is wise, and then go from there. All right, let's keep moving on though for this. So Cam Newton is going to be coming back from COVID. He's going to be off the list. He'll be starting this week. AJ Brown didn't practice, but he's gonna with his knee. But it sounds like he's going to be good to go. Julio Jones didn't practice with his hamstring. Guy, do you think he's going to play?
Yeah, I think he will.
Probably, yeah. Might be a little limited, but
yeah, he's Julio. If he plays, do you start him?
you have to.
I don't know.
He still has Matt Ryan throwing him the ball. I mean, still.
Matt Ryan. I know we talked about his leap year all offseason.
Yeah,
he hasn't been Matt Ryan, and I know they just fired their coach. I think right now, if I have anyone besides Calvin Ridley from the Atlanta Falcons, I am sitting them until I figure out what this offense is.
Yeah, I think Atlanta's still trying to figure that part out, which is unfortunate. But yeah, I mean, they're going to keep throwing the ball. If Matt Ryan's throwing more than 40 times a game, I am buying into any wide receivers there. Production is going to come.
Speaking of Matt Ryan, I don't think we mentioned this. Did you see the owner of the Atlanta Falcons didn't want to say that he was committed to Matt Ryan moving forward after this year?
Yeah, I did hear that. I kind of disregarded it. It is something worth mentioning, though, because, maybe there's a chance that they do hit the reset button. Julio's getting older. Matt Ryan's getting older. They just traded for Hayden Hurst.
Todd Gurley's out after this year.
Yeah, Todd Gurley could be gone. I mean,
the defense isn't anything special. No coach. I mean, at this point, you have Calvin Ridley. Why
next
not?
Year's draft class is going to be pretty big. I mean, if they stop right now, that was where part of my worries with Julio is they could shut him down if he does re-aggravate for the rest of the season, because why are you going to play him if you have nothing to play for? I know Julio wants to play. I want Julio to play. But there's a chance they could go tank for Trevor.
I mean, they got a good – I mean, it's going to be tough to beat out the Jets on that, but
they're all winless. Yeah. It's gonna be crazy this year. Who's gonna be
this offseason is gonna be fun because just because these quarterbacks coming in, especially Trevor Lawrence. I mean, especially if the Jets get that pick, because I'd be very interested to see where Darnold's gonna go. Because I still like Darnold long term. I think he's gonna be a good quarterback. But
you're jumping on the bandwagon.
San Francisco. Just keep that in the back of your mind.
I don't think there's a bandwagon.
What about New England?
I said New England. I said it. It was like last week in the one chat we were in. I said, just watch. That's what Bill Belichick's been waiting for. This was playing all along.
If he gets a smart quarterback, which, I mean, I know that may sound foolish to some people, but Sam Darnold is actually – he is a very smart quarterback. He's just – horrible situation. Don't forget how great of a prospect he was coming out of high school, going into USC. A lot of issues happened with USC, but he still kind of performed. But – San Francisco, I'm saying, because, because of those USC ties, the West Coast ties where he is. But, yeah. So, OBJ sent home with an illness.
COVID?
Come with that. I really got scared when I saw that message, but it doesn't sound like it. Nobody left. No, the facilities were fine. So, I think more to come for sure. Chris Godwin's limited participant with his hamstring, but it sounds like he's going to play. Do you think he's going to play, and are you starting him?
If he's playing, I'm always starting Chris Godwin.
Yeah, I have him in the league, and I'm going to start him. It sounds like all of them, both him and Godwin and Scotty Miller are all healthy and good.
Yeah, I think slowly the whole NFL is starting to get healthy. You have a couple, big injuries in Chubb and Eckler, but
careful, don't say anything.
I'll just stop talking about that.
Yeah, we'll stop there. There. Mike Evans had his ankle. I know we were talking about him earlier, but he was spotted on the field for media only on Thursday. It sounds like he's going to be a game time decision, but obviously if he plays, you got to play him as well. Jarvis Landry in practice from his rib injury. Keenan Allen exited the game of back spasms. They have their bye week. It sounds like Anthony Lynn said he'll be just fine. Jarvis, if he doesn't play, we have some good streamers, again, that we're going to talk about in a minute. But if he plays, I think you have to start him as well. It's going to be a tougher matchup against Pittsburgh, that's for sure. Well, I'm sorry. I would personally be sitting him. If you have to start him, though, obviously you have to. Try as much as you can not to. But thankful that Keenan Allen's injury is just fine. Darius Slayton, he's nursing a foot injury. He was limited, but it, again, sounds like he's going to play. Russell Gage has a shoulder injury. Hayden Hurst with a back injury. They don't play. You really got to play Ridley, and you really got to play Julio. But I think we'll see more to come with that. Deontay Johnson, it keeps leaning like he's probably not going to play. So if he doesn't play and you got Chase Claypool, you have to start Chase Claypool. He is a borderline wide receiver 1 this week.
If you spent $40 on Chase Claypool this week.
$41. 40 might not have gotten him. Come on. Yeah. And then AJ Green's limited participant with his hamstring after he exited the game. And it looked like on the sideline there might have been some lip reading on AJ Green where he said to trade me. So
Eric?
What'd you say?
I'm just gonna go to Eric.
I don't know if that's what he actually said.
It kind of looked like it, and he's been very frustrated. And I don't know.
He said, "Feed me."
I wish something needs to happen.
Yeah,
because he was getting fed and nothing was happening. And it doesn't look like the Bengals are going to have.
What's a good landing spot for him? Let's say he wants to get traded.
I would love if he went to Green Bay. Man, that would be just fantastic because they can't seem to figure out a wide receiver 2. And AJ Green and Devontae Adams, that would be very, very scary, especially because Lazard's going to be out for a bit. Eat up that 1-year contract and just have fun with it.
I was going to say San Francisco, but
that could be nice.
I think Green Bay is really nice, a perfect fit for him.
Or the Eagles.
I mean, they're starting to get more healthy, but
so we're talking about this. Would you hold on to AJ Green with the chances he might be getting traded?
No.
Or are you going to drop him?
I already dropped him.
Yeah, I know you dropped him last week, and I said last week I'm waiting 2 weeks. I'm going to be a man of my word. If he does not do well this week, or doesn't play, that doesn't count.
Let's just say I picked him up and then I dropped him again. So I dropped him, picked him up, dropped him.
In deeper leagues, I'm holding on to him, but.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. In deeper leagues, yeah. I mean, if you're in like a 10-team league, you could probably drop him.
Yeah, I mean, I dropped him for the rookie in Oakland.
Ryan Edwards?
No, the other kid.
Ruggs.
Ruggs, yeah.
Henry.
Holy heck, Ruggs.
Good old Henry.
We
were both blanking there.
Drop him for Ruggs, and Ruggs had a great game. So
hey, he got his touchdown. Good for him.
Yeah.
All right, keep moving on. No, Dawson Knox has a calf injury. He might be leaning towards not playing again. He's been nursing some injuries this season.
He's got hand injuries too.
I know. I think he should just maybe put some cast on. They might be a little bit better for catching that ball. But he's struggling with drops again this season. John Brown sat out the game obviously on Tuesday. Participated in practice on Thursday. Do you think he's playing?
I think so. I think it's a big game against Casey.
Yeah,
at 5 o'clock on Monday. Hello, all you West Coasters.
Is that 5?
5 o'clock.
That's 2 o'clock Pacific.
2 o'clock Pacific.
Oh my God!
Wow.
Can you imagine being at work? They're like, "Oh, there's a football game on."
How does this happen? We get a game on a Tuesday and then a 5 o'clock game. That's crazy.
Yeah.
One word. COVID.
Yeah, COVID does that. COVID. DJ Chark did not practice with his ankle injury. If he doesn't play, you got to play Keelan Cole. Laviska Shenault's a borderline wide receiver 2. We'll talk about him a little bit later. But you got to play them both, I think. But he didn't practice either on Wednesday with his hamstring. So if he doesn't play and DJ Chark doesn't play, you don't play Keelan Cole. You don't play Gardner Minshew. You do not pass go. You do not collect $200, okay?
You play James Robinson.
We will also talk about James Robinson later. Man, we're hitting them all, but you definitely play James Robinson. So let's move over here to Sammy Watkins. He's doubtful to play Monday against the Bills, as we were just talking about, with a hamstring injury. McCall Hardman, what do you do with him? Are you going to play him if Sammy Watkins sits out?
This is his chance to, become that second wide receiver and jump Sammy in the depth chart. But I don't know. I don't know if you can trust him.
I think he's a good flex option, especially going up against the Bills. I know Trey White's going to be playing, but he's going to be on Tyreek. So,
I'm giving the Bills a lot of crap for their defense in the last few weeks, but I think I'm on the side of they'll figure it out eventually. It's the same defense of last year, same players and everything.
No, but it could be a shootout even also. And if Trey's shutting down Tyreek, somebody's got to eat there.
It's going to be a shootout, but, it's not going to be a shootout.
If Josh Norman is covering him, he's going to get a long touchdown. We saw A.J. Brown burn him pretty good. Maybe there's a reason why Washington had let him go. But hopefully Josh Norman gets himself together instead of trying to,
he looks so bad.
He's trying to high kick Derrick Henry.
So bad.
Travis Kelce's going to have a career game.
Yeah, I think Kelsey will have a good game. I think McCall Hardman, that he will get a long touchdown. If you look at the Bills' run game, they didn't look so hot in the first few games, but the last two games against Derrick Henry and Josh Jacobs, Derrick Henry had under 60 yards. Josh Jacobs had under 75 yards. Derrick Henry had 2 touchdowns, but what was it, from the 1 yard line and the 10-yard line was kind of in a very late part of the game. But I don't know if CEH is going to do too much. This is leading us into Le'Veon Bell signing with Kansas City. We know that happened. Some big news that was down between Miami, Buffalo, and Kansas City, ultimately going with the reigning Super Bowl champions. So are you worried at all about CEH? Clyde Edwards-Helaire?
If you're in a redraft league, yes, you should be, absolutely. If you're in a dynasty league, it's whatever. It might screw you over this year. You might not get the numbers that you were expecting them to get, but don't trade Clyde Edwards-Helaire in a dynasty. That absolutely don't do that. I know Eric wants me to do it so bad, but in a redraft, I know I said it to a couple guys. I said it to Eric and you, Antonio, and I think I said it to our buddy Chris. If Cleveland can do it, Kansas City can do it. But you guys made a great point. It's a different offense. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. He said, Le'Veon Bell said that he was going somewhere to win a Super Bowl and to get touches. So I'm assuming he's going to take away some snaps away from Helaire. So we'll see.
Yeah, I think they're gonna, I think he's there, to help in the pass protection as well as, when you talk about Dynasty League, I actually think it's good for Helaire in Dynasty because he's gonna mentor him.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of the reason why they wanted to bring him in as well.
Yeah.
Is to show him the ropes and.
I think the
Bills going to be a good thing for him.
I think the Bills wanted to bring him in just for the same reason.
Yeah, because they got 2 young backs.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Even Singletary.
And not only that, but Clyde is still the only running back that's eligible for the fifth year option. So you're still getting that extra year in his contract.
Even
I don't think it. Dynasty. Hey, go ahead.
Even Singletary said in his media press conference yesterday that having someone like Le'Veon Bell in the room would help him out a lot in learning because Singletary's still a young back. He's only been in the league for a year now, a year and a half. And he had Frank Gore last year, and they have they have TJ Yeldon as a veteran presence there, but he still felt like Le'Veon Bell can help him and Moss out. So I guess both teams were looking at Le'Veon Bell for the same thing.
Yeah, I'm not as worried as you at CEH. I think that Bell's just going to be that second running back to, like you guys were saying, the third down, the goal line. The 3 running backs and the fullback, Anthony Sherman, Darwin Thompson, Darrell Williams. They have 93 snaps combined. Sherman had 33 of those, so we'll call him 60 snaps in 5 games. So that's obviously not a crazy amount, but I think that's what's going. Or I'm sorry, they have 140 snaps combined, so they have 110. I'm sorry, I was reading that wrong. They have 110 snaps between Darwin Thompson and Darrell Williams. So that's over 20 a game. Darrell Williams has 93 alone. So if Bell takes that over and he gets 15 to 18 snaps a game, I think he's going to get himself 8 to 10 touches. So I think that CEH and Le'Veon Bell can produce together. But CEH already, he's on pace right now for over 300 touches, over 1,700 yards, but only 5 touchdowns. So he's already getting a lot of production. He's just not getting the touchdowns. And I think that's going to come, and I think Le'Veon Bell is going to get some as well. Probably not start worthy, though, Le'Veon Bell.
We'll find out. We'll
find
out in a couple weeks.
We'll definitely find out.
Also, they probably signed him because, look at all the running backs that are getting hurt.
It's true. But like you said, though, CEH really just wasn't getting it done in the goal line at all. And they need to get a bigger back in there with like Bell. And he's really good at pass catching, as we know. So maybe I secretly would like to see Le'Veon Bell do well this season. I don't have many CEH shares, so I wouldn't be affected all around. But that's being very selfish of me.
3 guys.
But yeah, but it would be really interesting if Bell could go in and start getting 4 to 5 catches a game, and CEH still gets his 15 carries a game, and they could both keep doing things. And like you said, kind of like Cleveland, different offenses, yes, but if they can make it work where they're both in there, who knows?
Low keto,
or they ride the hot hand.
Low keto all day today. Before the news came out that he signed in Kansas City, we obviously knew that it was Bills, Kansas City, and Miami. But low key, I didn't want him to go to Miami. I have a little bit of Gaskin shares in redraft leagues, and he's been playing really well at a flex spot. And all day long, I was like, please don't go to Miami. Please don't go to Miami. Please. Because at that point, I'm assuming that he's their starter right off the bat. And I don't have any Le'Veon Bell shares besides the guillotine.
Absolutely.
Besides the guillotine league, but I got guillotined already.
Yeah, no, if he went there, that he was definitely for the starter, and that's probably why he didn't. Yeah. That's more to come with Le'Veon Bell. All right, that's wrapping that all for the injuries and news and notes and all the other good stuff that we've had so far. Now, what we have left is we have some buy-sell we're going to go over, and then we have our streamers and then our stress and impress. So we're going to run through this for you guys. We'll start with some buy-sell. So let me know if you're going to buy or sell what I'm going to ask. Robbie Anderson is currently wide receiver 7. This is all PPR, by the way. Currently in wide receiver 7, 12 team as well. Do you buy that he finishes as a wide receiver 1, as a top 12? Keenan?
I want to say yes, but I'm going to lead towards no, just because McCaffrey's going to come back eventually. And is Bridgewater – is Robbie Anderson, first of all, is Robbie Anderson Bridgewater's favorite target right now? Because there's a couple pictures I sent to you guys this past week where who's their number 1 wide receiver?
DJ Moore.
Yeah, running down the sidelines wide open. And Bridgewater's not looking at him at all. I feel like they're going to get him more involved they're going to get DJ Moore involved in the pass game a little bit more. And once McCaffrey comes back, I feel like it's going to hurt Robbie Anderson a little bit more. Instead of being 1B option, I guess he's going to become the third option there in that offense. So I'm selling.
Okay.
If it makes you feel better, I am currently trying to trade him in the league.
Well, let me tell you this: he has 4 games with at least 8 targets.
Yeah.
And in those games, he has at least 6 catches at 99 yards. He's got 3 100-yard games, but he does only have the 1 touchdown. So that's where it's tough for me. You know I love DJ Moore. You all know I love DJ Moore. I'm getting very frustrated with DJ Moore and the way that Teddy Bridgewater is treating him, but he's looking at Robbie Anderson way too much. Way too much. Eric, do you buy or sell?
Uh, I'm gonna sell it, but I definitely think he has a good chance at finishing as a high-end wide receiver too. To be honest, maybe middle of the pack wide receiver too. But I still think he's gonna have a really good year. But it's gonna come down. It's gonna shift over to DJ Moore and Christian McCaffrey when he gets back, and at least I think so. I don't know. I mean, he seems to be Bridgewater's favorite target, so it's kind of tough to say, but it's just hard to imagine that he actually keeps that up.
Yeah, I'm going to sell for all those same reasons. I think he'll be definitely top 20, though. Definitely top 20. Stephon Diggs is on pace for 162 targets. That would definitely be a career high. He currently has 51, second in the league. And he only had 94 last season. Do you think he's going to continue to be the top 5 the rest of the season? He is currently 5th.
Buying it.
I agree. If you just watch this past week, Allen, in the first half especially, he looked for Diggs on almost every passing play. Him and Diggs, they got this great connection right now, and I don't think I've ever seen a quarterback and a wide receiver develop the chemistry that these two guys have right now. So I'm definitely going to buy it.
Yeah, they're so good. I love it. I'm so happy that the Bills traded for him. I mean, he's great. And he showed it at the Vikings too. It's just their offense didn't allow it. With him and Thielen there.
The stuff I see on Twitter with like what the media is reporting, they seem like they've been best friends for 10 years.
Yeah,
they have a great connection. Instant connection.
Yeah, it's nuts. Like Josh Allen interrupted Stephon Diggs. I don't want to go too far into this. During a press conference yesterday, and Diggs called Allen a goofball and they were like joking around about the weight, about Allen's weight or whatever, and Stephon Diggs called him a liar or something like that. But it was pretty funny to watch how these two guys have developed this awesome friendship too. So I'm buying it just because of their great chemistry so far.
Yeah, they're having fun. And I buy it too. If you get 160 targets, I don't care who you are, you should be finishing as a top 5 wide receiver.
Before we move on, I just want to, give the Vikings fans a shout out. It seems like, Stephon Diggs is hating it here in Buffalo, guys.
Definitely is.
Yeah.
Josh, how about the next one? Buy or sell? Josh Jacobs will finish as a top 5 running back rest of season. Currently, is RB6, but he's on pace for 48 catches and 64 targets. He had only 20 catches and 27 targets last season. But what the kind of an alarming stat is that he's got 5 touchdowns on the season, but it was only in 2 out of 5 games, and he doesn't have 100 yards rushing yet. So, do you buy or sell a top 5 RB performance for Josh Jacobs?
I'm selling. I don't think he gets there. Like what you said, he's 6 right now. You said
he's currently RB6.
Yeah, I mean he had 3 pretty rough games, so I don't know. I don't buy it. I still think he'll be an RB1 on the season, but yeah, I'm selling.
I have to buy it, right? I can't. I need to fill these 5 spots above McCaffrey. He's one of them.
I love right. I love the targets that he's getting, though. He's being worked in the offense. He's had at least 3 catches in 4 out of 5 games, and he's always getting the touches. It's just like Joe Mixon. The touchdowns are going to come. If we believe in Joe Mixon, at least I do, then you have to believe in Josh Jacobs. That line before the season, I believe, was PFF's number 1 rated line, offensive line. So obviously they aren't doing so great, but they've also played some tough run defenses. Carolina, New Orleans, New England, Buffalo, and then they just played Kansas City. So I think there's a lot more to come with Josh Jacobs, especially after the bye. They're going to get themselves together. Then they have kind of a lot better schedule where it frees up Tampa Bay, Cleveland, the Chargers, and then Denver and Kansas City again. So I'm buying it, if you couldn't tell. Alexander Madison. This one's more of just today. Buy or sell or not today, this week, that he's going to have at least 100 yards and 2 touchdowns against Atlanta this week.
If Cook doesn't play, yeah, he is. He had that in
I
one.
don't think Cook's. Yeah, if Cook doesn't play, but I don't think Cook's playing.
Yeah, I don't think he's playing either. But he had that in one half last week or this past week. So I'm buying.
Against one of the worst rush defenses, Eric, you buying it?
Selling it. I
You're
think it's
selling
going to
it.
be. I think after all the comments coming out, Matt Ryan, them saying he might not be the future there, I think it's going to put some fire under his belt. I think that he's going to be slinging the ball, and Julio's going to be healthy. I think it might be a shootout, and I don't think he's going to. I think he'll probably do one or the other. I just don't know if he's going to get both. If that makes sense. Yeah.
Well, he'll probably be in the passing game too if he's.
That's what I'm saying.
Don't
Like
forget.
I could see 2 touchdowns. Maybe a rushing and a passing touchdown, and just not get 100 rush yards.
I said 100 total yards. Sorry.
Oh, was it total?
Yeah, 100 total yards and 2 touchdowns.
We're switching it to buying now.
Sounds like he is too.
I guess I could buy it.
Yeah, I'm buying it. So I know there's not much parity there. All right, 2 more. Tyreek Hill has only 1 game with more than 6 targets. In that other game, it's 8 targets, but he scored in all game but 1. So he's currently on pace for just 1,164 yards, but 13 touchdowns. So the buy or sell is Tyreek Hill going to get at least 1,400 yards and 10 touchdowns?
No. I don't think he is. If he's not getting those targets, he can't get there. In one of the best offenses in the league, he's not getting targets. He's not going to get to 1,400 yards.
He's catching a lot of his balls. That's really what it is. His catch rate's the highest right now of his career, but yeah, he hasn't topped that 100 yards yet. But
getting the targets over there. Why? What is going on? Why am I just noticing this?
Yeah, he had 1 game. I'm sorry, not 8 targets. It was 1 game of 11 targets. But yeah, all the other 4 games he had just 6 targets. But he caught 5 in 2 out of them. Then he caught 4. Then he caught 3. But he's getting touchdowns. So yeah, Travis Kelce's getting a lot. Hardman gets some. Demarcus Robinson, Sammy Watkins, CEH. Yeah, there's a lot of mouths there. So I don't know. You buy it? You're gonna buy it? You're selling it. You said. How about you, Eric?
I'm selling it.
I'm selling. I think he gets double-digit touchdowns, but not 1,400 yards.
Is it just me, or does that offense seem like it's struggling a little bit? They didn't get it going against Baltimore until the second half. They struggled against the Chargers. I know they have a good defense. They put up 30 points this past week, but that was because Oakland put up 40 points, and they had to try to, play a little bit of catch up.
Their offensive line has been pretty rough.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like it's not the same Kansas City team as last year.
I think they're going to be just fine. I think
they'll be fine. I'm just saying I don't think they're as explosive as they were last year right now.
That's true, but I don't know maybe if they've needed to be as aggressive. Yeah, they aren't being as aggressive, maybe, I would say. I would say they're being as explosive, just not as aggressive. But Mahomes doesn't have a pick yet. He's on pace for a lot less yards. Yeah. But, no, they've actually played 4 games. I'm forgetting. So he's still on pace for over 40 touchdowns. Or is it 5? Why am I blanking?
They played 5.
Oh, yeah. They played the 5th because I forgot they rescheduled. Yeah, he's not doesn't have a lot of yards yet, but they're winning games, and maybe that's what they're trying to do right now. And we'll see if Le'Veon Bell is a change of pace for that as well. So let's move on to our last one, okay? So we're going to see if we can buy or sell. So buy or sell that 5 rookie wide receivers are going to finish in the top 36. So that's a wide receiver 3 or better. Now, before you sit there, because I'm sure your automatic answer is no, there's currently 4 of them that are in the top 36 right now. CeeDee Lamb is you know what? I'm going to stop right there. Eric, why don't you tell me the top 4 rookie wide receivers right now?
Let's see. CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson, Chase Claypool. I don't know. Blanking on the other one.
Chenault.
Yeah, come on, don't forget my
your
boy.
boy LaVisca. Yeah.
Don't forget my boy. Come on. Yeah, CeeDee Lamb currently is a wide receiver 1. He is wide receiver 11. Claypool is 21 with that big performance. Jefferson is 26th. Chenault is 27th. And T. Higgins is 39th. So he's creeping in, especially getting more targets, especially with A.J. Green woes. So I think that I'm going to buy that for sure. How about you, Keenan?
I'll buy
3.
Yeah, I'll buy it just to please you.
I'll buy it as well.
Because I know you love your rookie wide receivers.
Oh, thank you. I actually have all 5 of these guys on one bench. Actually, 4 out of these 5 on one bench in one of my redraft leagues. My league.
Really? You have – oh, that explains why you're 1 at 4.
Yeah, I have Jerry Jeudy as well. How dare you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not nothing against these guys. It's been taking them a little bit to get going.
Yeah, they're on my second half run. I haven't had him sitting on my bench all off season, but I've played Chenault as well because he's been very consistent. He's had at least 13 points in 3 out of 5 games, especially with DJ Chark not playing. I think he's a must start. And now T. Higgins is coming around. We know what Claypool just did, and Justin Jefferson showed some moments. So there's a lot of promise for these guys. And then we're watching what the second-year wide receivers are doing this year.
He's selling these guys now.
Yeah, if you can do it. I mean, like I said, they're on my bench, so I have been trying to package 2 of them for an upgrade, to be honest. I haven't had any bites just yet, or maybe not talked to the right person, but
In Dynasty or redrafts?
This is his league, Buffalo League.
In a couple leagues. I got at least I think I have at least 2 rookie wide receivers in every redraft league on my bench right now. I know I have Chenault in all 7 of my redrafts.
Well, I know if you're in a league with me, you didn't offer me anything.
Yeah, we'll work on it. Do you buy or sell this, Eric?
What am I buying or selling?
That the 5 rookies are going to finish.
I said I was buying it.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
That's how you may not heard.
And Keenan, did you buy it?
Yeah, I bought it.
Man, maybe these weren't good enough. I thought we'd have some parity there.
We all love the rookie class though this year. You can't just expect us to sell it.
I know, but let's flip this real quick because let's throw some parity on this. T. Higgins, he might get the targets, but Joe Burrow might keep struggling in and out of games, and Tyler Boyd is probably going to emerge as the wide receiver 1, right?
Yeah, you're right. I'm selling. I'm selling this.
Eric said enough.
He said enough. Oh, I'm just trying to play the other side for some people. I mean, I know we would talk about all the positives for these wide receivers, but truly there are negatives. We just saw Justin Jefferson. He did just flunk it last week with Adam Thielen doing well, and he finally had his one good game so far. Claypool has had some sparks.
The thing is with all 5 of these, besides Lamb, I think you're going to see them have horrible games and you're going to see them have great games. So I think that's what you're going to see out of these guys. Where Chenault, he hasn't gotten a touchdown yet, but he's still averaging 13 points a game, I think you said, right?
Yeah, he's at least 13 in 3 of them. But yeah, he's –
where Lamb, in that Dallas offense, we've talked about it, how one week it's going to be Lamb, the next week's going to be Gallup, the following week it's going to be Amari Cooper. With Claypool, I think they're still trying to figure out who the second guy is there between Washington, between Johnson and now Claypool in the mix. Jefferson, that offense just struggles. I'm going to talk myself into selling this now. With Jefferson, that offense struggles, but also Thielen, is still eating there. Chenault, I think he's the only guy that's consistent. And then T. Higgins is finally starting to emerge there with, Green being – I don't know what the hell he's doing. So I'm going to sell it as well. Thank you, Eric.
There we go. See, this is good. I love it. I love the communication. What camaraderie. I'm still buying it, though. And I actually am going to buy it even more that I think Laviska Shenault is going to finish as a top 15 wide receiver this year.
I'd buy that. I think he's their number 1. I think
DJ Chark's very talented.
He is. I think I'm not saying it's going to happen tomorrow, but I think in the next year you'll see Chenault being their number 1 there.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. That's enough for our buy-sell segment. 2 more to go, fellas. 2 more to go.
Well, hopefully our listeners aren't falling asleep. It's a
No,
long episode.
Yeah, we got a little extra for you this week. Had a little bit of a power issue, as some of you may have saw. So apologies for that, but had to catch up on some things. So next segment here is Stream for Me, the little stream boat that could. So we're going to talk about some streamers this week to get you through some of your COVID and bye week mishaps here. So, Keenan, why don't you start us off with your quarterback? We're going to each give quarterback, running back, wide receiver, and tight end.
For this week, I got Andy Dalton. I streamed him in a couple leagues this week. He's one of the best backup quarterbacks out there. He's entering the top 5 offense in Dallas. I mean, Arizona's a pretty good defense. They improved this year, but Dallas just can't help themselves to fall behind. So he's going to be throwing the ball a lot in the second half, I think. So I think Andy Dalton's going to be a perfect stream for a quarterback this week.
I like that. I know we just talked about him. Yeah, good choice. I got Ryan Fitzmagic. He's got a revenge game. I know it seems like every team he faces is a revenge game, but he's the quarterback 3 right now. And he was just on the road in San Francisco, lit them up 43-17. Sorry, it was quarterback 3. It's like I said, revenge game for him. So he's quarterback 7 on the year. And I think he certainly can eclipse 300 yards and multiple touchdowns again. And I don't think that they're going to take the gas off the pedal when they're playing this week. So I think that it's going to be a really good game for them. And I think I forgot to mention they're playing
the Jets.
Yeah, the Jets. Jeez, blanking on me there. Long episode gets you a little forgetful, huh? Yeah, they're playing the Jets, who are one of the worst defenses in the league against the pass. So see Fitzmagic to have a lot of fun. I think he's going to be a top 5 quarterback this week.
Yeah, Eric? I'm gonna go with the man who just beat the Buffalo Bills, Ryan Tannehill himself. He's been having a good year so far, and I think they're just going to keep it going against Houston. Houston's in the bottom half of the league against wide receivers right now, so, I think he's going to put up a couple touchdowns and have a good game.
There we go. 3 good streams there at the quarterback position.
The last 12 games, he's had better stats than Patrick Mahomes. He's got more yards, same amount of touchdowns, same record, better completion percentage. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
I think maybe I need to start giving him some more respect. Maybe everybody as a whole should be giving him some more respect. I mean, I still see him on some waiver wires. It's just tough, though, because at any given game, he might throw just 20 times.
Yeah, I think
20, 25 times.
I think what we saw there towards the end of the year, last year in the playoff game, the couple playoff games where we saw them just run the ball and barely pass, I think that scared some people away. But I think we need to give him a little bit more respect than he's getting. And I am not a Tannehill truther at all. I think he's in a good system right now, but I don't think he's a top 10 quarterback.
Yeah, I can agree with that. For streamers, why don't we get the running back position started with you, Keenan?
Yeah, I don't know if he's going to be on a waiver wire still or not, but if he is, pick up Damian Harris. I'm starting him in a couple leagues this week. I know the Patriots' backfield is very frustrating. They seem like they have 30 backs over there. But after watching that KC game, I think they played KC last, I believe, before the whole COVID things hit. I think he's their unofficial starter. He had 17 carries for 100 yards. I can't remember the last time I saw a New England back get 17 carries. So I'm going with Damian Harris this week, and he's playing Denver. So
yeah, I like that one. And I'm going to go with kind of a deep streamer here for mainly PPR leagues, pretty much only PPR leagues. But it's J.D. McKissick.
I love this. Sorry to cut you. I love this one.
Thanks. But yeah, once Alex Smith got in there, he loved this guy. McKissick got 8 targets last week and led the team in receiving. He's going to have a role there, especially. I mean, it's going to be tough with Kyle Allen back now, but I still think they're going to find a way to use him. And if you're desperate for a running back and you're in a PPR league, I think he's going to be a good option to use.
I'm trying to find his fantasy points that he's scored. I'm pretty sure he's been in double digits a couple games already this year. But I could be wrong.
Oh, McKissick, no, yeah, you're not wrong. He's done well. He's done well. But, yeah, when I saw you put him in there, it was funny because I've actually got his counterpart, Antonio Gibson, as my streamer of the week. Antonio Gibson's had at least 10 points in 4 straight weeks now. He had over 22 points 2 weeks ago against Baltimore. He's getting the carries. He's getting the touches, just like you are saying with McKissick. But I do think that this is going to be his breakout game. They brought in McKissick to come get the catches, to come get things moving because they didn't really have anybody after getting rid of Peterson. But I think this is the breakout game for him. And I think he's going to do well, and he's definitely going to get a touchdown or 2. So we get to see how that plays out.
Washington football team making a presence on the Mafia.
Here we go. Who would have thought?
Yeah, who would have thought?
All right. Eric, wide receiver streamers.
It's our man Cole Beasley for the Bills. They're going up against KC. Could be a potential shootout, and I think Josh Allen's going to have to rely on him, especially with potentially John Brown sitting out, or even if he plays, he's still going to be playing hurt potentially. So, yeah, I think he's going to have to be relying on him a little bit.
I like that a lot. I think with the coaching staff in the second half told him, look for Beasley a little bit more, and he did. But for me, I'm sticking with the Bills wide receiver core, and usually a 4th wide receiver isn't even on my list to make a fantasy lineup. But Gabriel Davis, he's been pretty impressive. It seems like Allen and him, we talked about Diggs and Allen having some chemistry, but it seems like Gabriel Davis and Allen have developed a chemistry as well, and the Bills trust him and Allen trusts him. So I'm going with Gabriel Davis if you are in a desperate situation at wide receiver.
All right, so back-to-back Bills there.
Why don't you just skip another Bill? Do you got a Duke Williams there coming up?
Former Bill. No, but I got another Williams, Preston Williams. He plays against the New York Jets. I talked about Fitzmagic as my quarterback stream. I am doing the stack. I love the stack for DFS. So Preston Williams coming off his best game of the season with 4 catches for 106 yards and a touchdown. We know it's been just about a year since his ACL injury, so he's really been getting more healthy as the weeks go on, which I know most players seem to go the opposite way. But again, he gets to face one of the worst defenses. They're 25th against the pass. They give up over 265 a game. They just gave up 380 to Kyler Murray last week. I think Fitzmagic's just going to be doing his wizard things. Pierre Desir is probably going to be covering Preston Williams, and he gives up the second most completed air yards over expectations allowed, which means cornerbacks that have an expected yards to give up per game, he has the second most for air yards. So you want to know who number 1 is? The other Jets cornerback, Lamar Jackson. So another reason Fitzmagic's going to have a field day. Keenan.
Yes, sir.
Send us home with tight ends here.
Yeah, I'll just, this one was tough for me. I just picked Eric Ebron. I think Eric Ebron is starting to heat up a little bit. He's posted a couple back-to-back games here with 5 receptions. The Browns, they're probably going to have a game plan to surround around the Steelers' rookie wide receiver, Claypool, who just erupted for 4 touchdowns last week. So this could open up some things for Ebron this week. And the Browns struggle covering tight ends this season, so I'm going to go with Ebron.
Nice. I went with my surprise or my was my bonus sleeper impress last week, which was Cameron Brate.
He had a touchdown last week, didn't he?
No, but he still led the tight ends there. Or I forgot what Gronk had, but he had like 4 catches for like 40 or 50 yards, I believe it was. But he got targets. But not only that, OJ Howard went down. Tom Brady was begging to get this guy on the field. He's been there for a while, and he's always, produced when he's been given the opportunity. And, I think Tom Brady's going to be looking for him, especially with Mike Evans and Godwin both being out there. I think that could open things up for him in the middle. So I think you can rely on him if you need a tight end streamer.
Yeah, I've got Austin Hooper. He's got 17 targets in his last 2 games, especially like we were talking about Jarvis Landry potentially not playing. I know that he's playing against Pittsburgh, who usually does well against tight ends. They bottled up Zach Ertz last week, but he's sort of the main focal point, and I think they're going to focus a lot on the wide receivers a bit. So I don't know. I don't know necessarily, or not the wide receivers, but they're going to focus on OBJ. But I think that Austin Hooper definitely has a good shot at getting a touchdown. Yeah, I think Austin Hooper is going to be a great play for you this week. He's going to fill it out in the end zone. He's going to be out there a lot to block. He's got to stop that TJ Watt presence.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah. So one thing that ends up here for our streams, I know we talked real quick about the Rams earlier being 4-1, or mentioning if they're for real. They've played the AFC East as well as the Buffalo Bills. Are you worried at all about the Rams? I know we've been hyping them up a lot, but I just want to talk for a quick second. NFC East. NFC East. Yeah, they played the Bills in week 3, but they've already played through the NFC East, the Giants, Philadelphia, the Jets, and oh my God, I am struggling. I'm sorry, guys. They've played against the Cowboys, the Redskins, the Eagles, and the Giants. So do you think they should be doing better statistically wise, or do you think they're going to be just fine as the rest of the season goes on?
I'll let Eric take this one. Seeing that
I don't know. It's definitely worrisome that they're only their 4 wins were against the NFC East, like you said. But I don't know. I think they're definitely going to struggle a little bit. They're going to be more of a maybe 8 to 9 win team unless they figure something out. But all I know is they need to get my man Tyler Higbee involved.
Or you're going to get more trolls hitting you up on Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah, he definitely needs to get that going. But playing at San Francisco might be a good thing to see the Rams really come out and shine. So I just want to talk about that real quick. But let's move to our stress and impress for the final segment. Keenan, how about you get us going with your impresses?
For my first one, I got Jamison Crowder. He's playing the Dolphins this week. We've seen some pretty impressive receiving performances this season. But is there anyone playing better than Jamison Crowder right now? And before you answer that, Anthony, just remember his head coach is Adam Gase, and he's got Joe Flacco throwing the ball. And Crowder has at least 10 targets and 7 receptions and 100 yards in all 3 games he's played this season. He's only played 3 games. I know people, hit the top of the charts on Yahoo and click the points, and he's all the way down to 23. But he's only played 3 games this week or this year so far. So he's definitely averaging more than a lot of the wide receivers out there. And he's got a great matchup against the Dolphins. And like I said, he's doing this with Gase as his head coach. And it's time to give this man some respect. My second one is Myles Gaskin. Thank God Le'Veon Bell did not sign with the Dolphins because I have a lot of shares in him. He's playing the Jets. He had 16 rushes against the 49ers, which is a nice surprise, but he also had 57 yards. Well, we had 57 yards and a touchdown on the ground, but he also had 5 targets that he turned into 5 receptions for 34 yards, which is awesome to see him getting those receptions, especially for PPR. I love the opponent this week, the Jets, and as long as the Dolphins keep trusting him, I'm going to keep trusting him to put him in my lineup. So he's my running back 2, actually, in our big league. So I'm hoping he keeps getting me those 10 to 16 points. Fingers crossed. My last one is Miles Sanders. Yeah, he's playing the Ravens. Tough matchup. But I think the training wheels finally were taken off Miles Sanders last week by the Eagles. They played the Steelers last week. Tough defense, but Sanders had a season high 23 fantasy points. Like I said, the Ravens are a tough run defense, as you would figure. But I think he keeps it going this week, and Philadelphia is still beat up at wide receiver, and I think they're going to rely on Miles Sanders to try to bring home a W again this week. And also the Ravens have allowed at least one running touchdown so far this season. So, and allowed the 6th most receptions to running backs this year as well. So start Miles Sanders, guys.
Yeah, I love Miles Sanders, baby.
So do I. I'm sorry. Before we move on, I'm becoming a Miles Sanders truther. I love what I see. I just wish they would use him more like the Saints use Alvin Kamara. I think he can definitely do what Kamara does. So,
well, he can. I mean, on the stat sheet last week, I know it looks like he had a great game, and of course, he did have a great game. 11 carries, 80 yards, 2 touchdowns. But one of those carries was a 74-yard touchdown run. So, I mean, yeah, he's great. He's very electric. But he just struggled a little bit last week. But it was Pittsburgh, so I mean, that's fantastic that he was even able to do that. All right, so I'll move on to my impresses. My first one is A.J. Brown against Houston. The connection with him and Tannehill never died. What is dead may never die. But now that he came back and he's healthy and he took advantage of no Trey White, I think that he's going to do that again against Houston. And I think he's going to be actually a borderline wide receiver 1 moving forward. 7 catches for 82 yards and a touchdown against the Bills. I think he's going to have over 100 yards and a touchdown again against Houston. Laviska Shenault, my number 2. We talked a lot about him. He's coming off a career-high 52 snaps last week. His emergence has just been happening on a weekly basis. They are using him more and more every single week. He is on the path this year for over 100 touches, over 1,000 total yards. And he just only has the 1 touchdown so far, so that's the only thing hurting him. But with DJ Chark going in and out, and he had career-high 8 targets and 7 catches last week, it's just the breakout's coming. He's actually 9th in the league in yards after catch. So, I mean, that's pretty fantastic. Top 10 in yards after catch. Like I said, guys, you got to get a hold of this guy. You need to. Interesting thing, Detroit has allowed in 3 of the last 4 games, they've allowed multiple wide receivers to either have a touchdown and 74 yards.
Wow.
So they're going to be getting some stats. They're going to be getting some stats there.
So Detroit's not a good team, good defense, huh?
They are struggling.
When are they going to fire Patricia?
Yeah.
Tomorrow?
Yeah, they got to get there. He's next on the block, I think. I think he really is. Unfortunately, Adam Gase is going to be with the Jets for a bit. All right, my third one, James Conner against Cleveland. I think it's a very favorable game script for him. Division games are always fun, especially with these 2 gritty teams like Cleveland and Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh's going to get up early. I know Cleveland's 4-1, but are they really 4-1? No. We'll see. This is going to be a big test for them. I know that they put up 30-plus points in 4 out of 5 games, and they just did it against a good defense in Indy, but Pittsburgh's a different defense, and Pittsburgh's a way better offense than Indianapolis. So I think James Conner is going to feast in that game.
They're 4-1 because they're a rushing team. They're rushing stats.
Yeah, Phillip Rivers hasn't really won them much games just yet. Eric, your turn.
Yeah, my first one, I'm going with James Robinson. Versus the Lions. We were just talking about how bad they are. They're 31st against running backs right now. And I think he's going to be looking for a bounce back game. And yeah, they're probably going to be missing DJ Shark, so their pass game's not going to be as efficient. They're probably going to need to rely on him a little bit more. So yeah, and then my second one is Juju Smith-Schuster against the Browns. They're currently 30th against wide receivers. Deontay Johnson's going to be out again, and I think with the emergence of Claypool last game, he's going to draw some type of coverage. They're going to have to figure out a way to keep him contained and make sure he doesn't get another 4 touchdowns. But yeah, I think that's going to help him out on the other end. And then my third one is Evan Ingram. I know he had a bad game last week, but so far in 3 out of 5 games, he's had 7+ targets. Washington's 29th against tight ends right now, and they're just letting it up against them. So not only that is I think they're gonna focus on keeping Slayton and Tate locked down, and I think they're gonna need to be looking for Ingram to have a good game here.
Okay. All right. 3 good ones there. So that'll end our impresses. So let's run over there to our stresses. I'll get us going with that. So I'm going to start with Kareem Hunt. And I'm not swearing, I promise. And I'm not insulting Kareem Hunt. I love him. But that groin injury was a little scary to me. I know they say he's fine.
Better be fine.
Yeah. But Pittsburgh is the second best run defense in the league. They allow only 64 yards per game. Maybe he has – I mean, Indianapolis is a good run defense too, and he had 20 carries for 72 yards, 3 catches for 21 yards and a touchdown. So that might be a very similar game. If he gets the touchdown, he's probably going to save your week. But I would assume everyone that has him is expecting a top 5, top 10 week now that Chubb's really officially gone. And, I don't think that's going to be happening. He'll be an RB2. But I don't know if he doesn't get that touchdown that he's going to be really getting you more than 10 to 12 points. Terry McLaurin, it pains me to say, is my second stress of the week. James Bradbury is PFF's number 2 cover corner, like I mentioned earlier. Washington's pass game is not looking good. They're going to be chasing against the Giants probably, but I think it might be going a bit to Gibson, to McKissick, and maybe Logan Thomas will be seeing some. But I'm hoping McLaurin can do well, but I don't see it happen this week. My third one, Allen Robinson. Allen Robinson at Carolina. Carolina is second in the league against passing yards allowed at home with only 186 a game. And right now they're currently 4th total. So your number 10 wide receiver currently, Allen Robinson, I'm going to be you can't sit him. You can't sit him because of the fact that I just said he's your 10th wide receiver. But yeah, listen to the quarterbacks that they faced so far, and the yard total. Derek Carr 239, Tom Brady 217, Herbert 330, but that was the game that Tyrod got stabbed, and kind of different game plan. Kyler Murray had 100. Kyler Murray got 133 yards, and Matt Ryan had 226. That is crazy. We know that the Chicago Bears defense is very good. We know that the Chicago Bears quarterbacks are not very good. So I think David Montgomery is going to get a lot of work, and I think Carolina is going to handle this game.
Wow. Yeah, that's eye-opening for sure.
Yeah, Carolina is underrated, man. They've got 3 wins in a row. They held Atlanta to 16 points on the road last week. I know they didn't have Julio, but Atlanta's still a high-powered offense.
Will they win that division?
I don't know. They might. They might. They're all doing well right now, and CMC isn't even there.
Yeah.
They don't even have their best player.
Yeah. I mean, the Saints are struggling, Tampa's struggling, and looks like Bridgewater and Carolina's found their groove there a little bit.
Yeah.
They just got to get DJ Moore involved a little bit more.
Amen.
So I guess I'll go with my 3 stresses here. I know Antonio's going to hate this one. So I got Joe Mixon versus the Colts this week. We all thought – don't shake your head. We all thought in week 4 it was Joe Mixon's coming out party. And, man, were we wrong, right? Antonio, another horrible fantasy week for him last week. I mean, not horrible, but I mean, nothing to,
We knew it was coming.
You need more out of your RB1. Mixon in week 4 had 47 fantasy points. The other games this season he has scored 42.6 points altogether. I think his struggles continue this week against the Colts, who have allowed the 3rd fewest fantasy points to running backs. So, I mean, you still got to start them. You can't, but don't expect, something crazy out of him this week. My second one's going to be Mark Ingram versus the Eagles. The Ravens love to run the football, guys, but it's crazy. You can't trust any of those running backs. Currently, Ingram is running back 52. He's had less than 10 touches per game on average. And actually, no other Ravens running back has had more than 11 rushing attempts in a single game or rushed for more than 73 yards. And here's the thing that you need to know. Ingram has played 31% of the snaps compared to 39 for Gus Edwards and 29% for Jake Dobbins. I'm thinking that number's going to go lower. I think Dobbins is going to get eventually he's going to get more reps. I know he's only had one he had one snap this past week, Dobbins did, and it's really frustrating, and it was for 37 yards. But I think Dobbins is going to start getting more work there in Baltimore. And my last one, just like you, Antonio, it hurt when you put Scary Terry on your stress list. But I got my boy Deebo Samuel. Last year I had this guy as my wide receiver 3 in Dynasty for my personal team. He was going to be my third wide receiver on my team, and I thought I was in great shape. But 49ers have managed only 173 yards against a Miami Dolphins team last week, and the Rams this week have allowed the fewest fantasy points per game to receivers this year. So look for Deebo to continue his struggles. And he had 8 targets last week for only 2 receptions. So I don't know. It's kind of frustrating for me.
It is very frustrating, and it's good that he had 8 targets though in the first.
Yeah,
game
that's a good sign. But I mean, that 173 passing yards. What's that?
Second game, sorry.
Yeah,
I said first game back. I meant second.
Yeah, but them not being able to pass on the Miami Dolphins is.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know.
Well, you got to remember that they got some good corners there.
Yeah, they're improved, but I would still expect,
They spent a lot of money there on Byron Jones, and yeah.
I can't believe Jimmy G got benched.
It looked like it was he was injured. It sounded like he came back and said he was injured, so they didn't want to re-aggravate anything because they were getting their butt kicked. Yeah, definitely not Mullins' time. Don't worry.
Eric, what do you got for us?
Yeah, my first one is just the Rams backfield in general, whichever one you plan to play. Yeah, I think this is not only our 49ers second against the run game right now. I just think it's going to be a game where just all 3 are getting mixed in again, and neither one of them are really going to go off for a big game. And then my second one, we were just talking about him earlier, Robbie Anderson. The Bears second against wide receivers right now. Their defense is playing some good football. They're averaging over 2 sacks a game, so I think they're going to be putting pressure on Teddy Bridgewater. And yeah, I think Mike Davis is going to have a really good game. I believe they're going to have to use him a lot. And then my last one is Jimmy Graham. Versus the Panthers, like just for all the same reasons that you have Allen Robinson. The Panthers defense as well, they're playing really good football right now. I think this game in general is just going to be a defensive battle. And yeah, I'm just not really looking to play any pass catchers in this game.
Cool, man. I think yeah, I agree with you there. It's going to be a low-scoring game for sure. Definitely bet the under. All right. That wraps everything up for the show today. A lot of information. Really sorry, guys, that it kind of went this long, but hopefully you did enjoy everything. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at Dynasty Mafia _FF. You can follow me at Antonio Denisi FF. You can follow Keenan at Keenan _716, and you can find Eric at Eric D _FF. Make sure to check us out on YouTube at youtube.com/Dynasty Mafia Podcast. You can check our website, dynastymafiapodcast.network. And yeah, anybody else got stuff to close out the show?
Good luck to everyone this week. Making that, I think we're at the halfway point, right? Fantasy?
Right after this hump, we're close to the halfway point to playoffs. Yeah, 6.5 weeks.
Yeah, so
we're getting there.
Yeah,
definitely good luck to everybody. And from there, baby, Mafia out.